yourselves to leave the prison wall. Show some love. Hold each other.
Welcome to the Princess Pat Akpabio Show. On this show, we change minds and change attitudes on how you perceive things in life generally. In life, we have so many questions but fewer answers concerning certain issues that we are facing. And that's why I'm here, to give you the kind of answers that you may be looking for the questions that you have. I am your friend, I am your sister, I am your coach. I'm here to make your day a blissful one. Welcome.
We are changing minds and changing attitudes.
You are watching the Princess Pat Akpabio Show.
Do you believe that a man should actually take somebody's daughter as a wife on credit? Or do you believe that he should do right?
Changing minds and changing attitudes.
What could be another cause why a man and a woman would become live-in lovers? Unwanted pregnancy. The woman got pregnant, and so the family insists that you have to be with my daughter, you have to marry my daughter, I'm not going to abort the child, I'm At the end of the day, they end up together. Loveless marriage, loveless relationship. Unwanted pregnancy, it happens both ways. You could either be live-in concubine with a pregnancy and you have a child, we talked about it in common marriage, or you got married because you were pregnant. So many women married a man because they were pregnant and they forced the pregnancy. That's the oldest trick in the book on how to get a man. At the end of the day, you realize to yourself, this man never loved you as much as you thought, and you were never meant to be married to this man. At the end of the day, you go to pray to change the man. How are you going to do that? You can't. Nobody can change anybody. Only God can change somebody. How are you going to do that? Somebody's going to say, so you saying that she should have just had the baby. You can have the baby and take care of your baby. Nobody's saying you should go have an abortion. But must you end yourself up in a loveless relationship that at the end of the day, you are traumatized, degraded, devalued, belittled. You are nobody. You're not considered. A man will take a decision without you. Is that what you want for yourself? Is that what you want for your daughter? Okay, he's a rich kid. He's a rich man's son. He's well-to-do. So you're pregnant, so why don't you get married? Mothers do that to their daughters. And you get married, and at the end of the day, the man cheats on you. He doesn't value you. Hold on now. I know it happens to men too. The man said, I loved her. I wanted her to have my babies. Yes, she got pregnant. I didn't want her to abort, and so we got married. She didn't love you. That's why she's cheating on you. I don't know if you've watched my other episodes on why do women cheat. Ding, ding, ding. That's one of the reasons why a woman would cheat. Being married to you, she didn't love you, but she got pregnant, and you insisted, and you know, some men, especially in the African culture, if you go to abort my baby, you're going to die, and the woman is forced to have the child, and then forced to get into this marriage that she doesn't love you enough to be with you. At the end of the day, as a man, what do you expect? Problems. No respect, because she's going to feel that you've held her down when she didn't want to be married to you. I'm talking about the negative things that happen with living concubines. Pressure, peer pressure. Peer pressure. Peer pressure could make a man and a woman living together when they have no business doing it. Well, my friend is doing it. Everybody's doing it now. After all, isn't that what Helen and what do you call it? Uwem did? Uwem and Ekaite did the same thing. Are they not happy today? Look at them. They're happily married. Who told you? Some people are just putting up appearances. Don't give in to peer pressure to be married. You don't need that. Trust me. You deserve to be happy. You don't have to cheapen yourself. You don't have to give yourself on credit to a man. To be married to a man, what for? I have seen relationships that people have been married. They've made it in life. They are what they are today. Matter of fact, some of them are in politics, but they are not happy. And they have everything that you could ever think about. They have the money. They have the position in the society. They're people to be reckoned with. But their matrimonial life is nonsense. Nothing to write home about. Husband doesn't see the wife. Wife doesn't see the husband. They are living in two separate worlds. But when you see them on TV, when you see them come up to the public, they're putting up appearances like they are the best. Lying to you. Must we continue that way? Can't we change that? At the end of the day, you hear people say, you got somebody's daughter pregnant. I don't want to hear, I don't love her. You must marry her. No, you don't have to. Because at the end of the day, we'll keep breeding marriages that is loveless. No love, no care, no attention, no affection. Correct your mistake. You could take care of your child. Do right by your child. Somebody will say, another man is not going to marry her because really. So it's okay for a woman to marry a man that already has a child, but it's not okay for a man to marry a woman that has a child. As far as I'm concerned, a man that already has a child is secondhand. For a woman who hasn't had a child to marry him, he should be grateful. Same thing. It's applicable. It's vice versa. It goes both ways. Another factor, age factor. Age factor would make a woman, especially with the pressure that society put on women. You must be married at a certain age. You must be this. And I mean, so much status quo, so much yardstick for women. You have to be married at this age. At the end of the day, you end up moving into living with somebody that doesn't love you, doesn't care about you. At this, something just got into my mind. Some women, age factor meets them where they are. Why? They were too picky. When they should have been married, they were always picky. Oh, I don't want to be married. Oh, no. His legs are too skinny. He has bald head. He is this. They picky. And then you look at them. You ain't no perfect. You ain't perfect. You ain't no perfect creator. You ain't no perfect in any way. You got something that you've been praying to God for. No human being is perfect. And so because they've been picky, 40, not married. 50, still not married. And so at the verge of menopause, they're moving to live with a man that they ain't got no business being with. At the end of the day, it becomes a loveless union.
Change your minds and change your attitude.
We have been talking to you about marriage versus live-in concubines. And of course, we've dealt with the negative part of live-in concubinism, if there's a word like that, where a woman or a man get to move in with the other and they're living in the hopes that one day they will get married and the man is enjoying the benefit of marriage without commitment. We've talked about accommodation sometimes being the reason or factor why people move in together, age factor. It could be job factor. It could be unwanted pregnancy. So many circumstances could lead to the fact why men and women moving together to get married. And sometimes some women just want to tie themselves to a particular man because they feel that at this point in time, this man is a man for them, or they've invested so much time to being married to that man. And they're doing so much for that man. A lady forcing herself to be in a relationship with a man, living in his apartment with the hopes that one day that they will get married. Well, let's look at the flip side of it. What are the benefits of being married? Benefits of being married is that you have somebody who is committed to you. You go through your pains together. You go through your good times and your bad time, your laughter and everything. You have somebody to hold your hands, and they're actually committed to you. They know that they owe responsibility to you. Now we're talking about those who actually went outrightly to pay the bride price, to walk the woman down the aisle and marry this woman. That's a whole lot of things. You build together. You grow together. There is love involved in this. My word here is commitment. There is compromise. There is communication in this marriage, and this is solid. There's always this reference, oh no, I can't do that because of my wife. Oh no, I can't do that because of my husband. And sometimes we live in concubines, or live in relationship. A man would always, I'm not married to her after all. And sometimes even women would do the same thing. I'm not married to him, so I can do whatever I want to do. So there is no commitment in live-in relationship or common marriages. Whereas in marriages, in actual marriage, there is a commitment, there is a compromise, that everything want to be all right. When you see a marriage relationship, everything they're doing has reference point. Oh, because of my wife or because of my husband. Now, I know you're thinking, I know you're saying, okay, but I was in a live-in relationship and we ended up being married. Of course, it does happen and it does end in paradise. Usually does end, not usually, sometimes it does end in paradise. Well, I have seen situations where a man and a woman, once upon a time, were in a live-in situation. They were in love with each other. All right, but they ended up not being married. For whatever happened, they ended up marrying separate people. And years gone by, they regretted the action. They knew that they made a wrong relationship or wrong decision to get into a relationship with somebody else. They got back into their live-in situation, live-in concubinage relationship, and ended up marrying. And it ended in living, what do you call it? Living back, how do you say that word? Happily ever after. They ended up happily ever after. Even in African society, in African culture, and the Western culture, I'm sure that somebody has experienced something like that. It happens. I don't want somebody to say, okay, so, well, I was in a living relationship, so it actually didn't end bad. We are just saying that you should give yourself value. You should love yourself. You should care about yourself. You should care how somebody treats you and value you. Beyonce say, if you love it or if you wanted it, you should have put a ring on it. He loves you that much. He cares about you that much. Let him make it official and put a ring on it. Yes, I understand that there are men who've been married and they were dating, courting for 9 years because they didn't have the money to get married. And eventually after 9 years, some 10, some 12, some longer, they still got married. It happens. So I don't want you to watch the show and say, what is she talking about? No, what you're saying have value. Have value. Do the right thing by a woman. Treat a woman with a lot of love and a lot of respect and see how she would reciprocate that love and see how she would care for you and see how she would take care of your children when you do right by her. Women have this system, this value system in them that when a man values them and give them what is their due right and due diligence, they treat you like a king. And make sure that your throne is worth talking about, is worth talking about, that everybody would envy you. You will be the talk of town. Women, we know how to do it and do it right when we are being done right. So we are saying, while we enjoy the benefit of this relationship, we also want to be committed. We want commitment from the man. Be committed. Don't take anybody's daughter on credit. And yes, I understand. I understand that the society we're living in is a stress. It stresses you and everything. There's so much pressure on you. And some people are even scared of that marriage commitment because they feel that, okay, so if we get married, it's not going to be the same. You're not going to treat me the way you've been treating me. You're going to treat me badly. You're not going to love me. You're not going to care for me like you do. It could be. But what does Alicia Keys says? I keep on falling in and out of love with you. That's what happens when you are really in love with somebody. You're going to fall out of steam. You're going to lose some steam. But when you sit back down and you figure out how valuable this person is to you, you know that it is worth it. And some people, because they are scared of being in a marriage relationship or failing, they don't want to fail, or maybe because they saw the father fail, or the father married the mother and left them, so they don't want to leave. They don't want to be married and leave. Already you have a value system in you. You already have a checkmate system in you. You already don't want to fail. So I believe that if you do right by the woman that you love, you will not fail. You will not walk away like your father did. You will make it good. And I trust you and I believe that you will do the right thing. So after all is said and done, when it has to do with marriage and live in concubines or live in relationship, it is imperative that we understand that we need to have value for ourselves. We need to value what needs to be valued. We need to honor the woman. We need to do right by the woman's parent and our parent. We don't have to marry somebody's daughter on credit. We don't have to cheapen ourselves to the point where the man is enjoying the benefit of marriage without commitment. Women, have some value for yourself. If you have value for yourself, the man will definitely value you for who you are. Do not stoop too low. Yes, I hear she stooped to conquer. Sometimes in cases it works, sometimes it doesn't. But whatever you do, make sure you have a value system for yourself. Remembering that what you value, you elevate. And what you elevate, you celebrate. And what you celebrate, you worship. And that is changing minds, changing attitudes. Until I come again on another episode, I am Princess Pat Akpabio. And as always, do take care of yourself. Bye for now.
Things are never what they seem to be. Changing minds, changing attitudes. Bring ourselves to live a peace and one. Changing minds, changing attitudes. Bring ourselves to live a peace and one. Show some love, hold each other's hands. In confidence we'll make the world a better place. We are changing minds and changing attitudes.
You are watching the Princess Pat Akpabio Show.